What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back for part 2 here of our members-only video where we're going through a fantasy-style draft of the all-time NC State men's basketball team. So just as a reminder, if you haven't seen part 1 already, make sure to check that out first. That way you can kind of get some of the rules and where we left off. But just as a kind of reminders to kind of go through it again. So we've done 4 rounds so far. My team right now is David Thompson, Sidney Lowe, CJ Leslie, and Ronnie Shavlik. We got Michael, who's got Tommy Burleson, Rodney Monroe, Ronnie Tao, and Richard Howell. Greg is Chris Corciani, Thurl Bailey, Julius Hodge, and Kenny Carr. And then Macon's is TJ Warren, Gugliotta, Lorenzo Brown, and Hawkeye Whitney. So, again, definitely 4 great teams so far. I think for the most part, very different setups for sure. I'm definitely looking here. I'll tell you guys this right now that I definitely should have picked a center earlier. But it's also like once Tommy Burleson and Thurl Bailey went, it and Michael pointed this out fairly that just centers wise we don't have all the in terms of big men too, because even like Ronnie Shavlik as well, like Macon pointed out that he was 6'8", so So like, if more for me, I have him kind of more in like the power forward here. So I'm kind of looking for some more height here, which is why for not a shocker here, I'm actually going to go with Kevin Thompson, a 6'11" center. Go with some more height.
Know that name bit. Until you
go a little bit bigger.
I'll say it. I'm not scared.
Well, again,
he's my favorite player. No. Shut your mouth.
No, well, he's a guy I already. Well, because again, he's a guy that when I was looking, at the stats, again, obviously he was a 2nd-round pick by the Trailblazers. He's also up there in blocks and rebounding as well in terms of the NC State record books. So obviously a guy that does well in the glass and again gives the height. Because again, I have the speed, I have the playmaking ability. Just need somebody to kind of help down low and then help give us a little bit more height. So that's why I went for him. Again, he's 6'11", 260, so pretty beefy guy. Averaged 15 points a game, 9 rebounds a game. So I think he's a great addition. So I'll take him and run with it. So Michael, who you got next?
All right. Well, since there's only a limited amount, I'm gonna go coach here and then finish out my roster. And I'm going Jim Valvano as my coach strategy.
It's a terrible strategy.
Interesting.
I'm surprised you didn't take a kicker the first round.
Guys, for those watching, this is competitive. Oh. I am competitive in this. I'm like, I'm going to diss everybody here. So, all right, Jim Valvano. Okay.
Don't think
so now do we have a run on coaches?
Who's going to be left out?
Yeah.
Be like if you guys both pick coaches.
Yeah, Greg is next.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to get left out, so I'll take Norm Sloan as a coach. Because there's still players out there that you can work with on a roster.
Yeah.
There's not many great coaches from NC State. Norm Sloan, national title. I think I don't know. He might be more well known for his jackets. He had the best attire from the 70s. And then he's credited with cutting down the nets for the first time ever in college basketball. So gotta go with Norm Sloan.
I like it. All right, Macon, you got 2 picks now. Go ahead.
Well, now you're forcing me to go one way, so I'm going to go with coach here, and I am torn here. I feel like I've got to say Everett Case. I feel like they were really good, but part of me, honestly,
it was Everett Case.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to go with this guy here, and part of the reason why I say this is I'm gonna not go with Everett Case. That sounds blasphemous, but I'm gonna go with Press Maravich.
Leighton likes to hear that. Okay.
Yeah, no, because I literally was like, "Who the heck am I gonna pick?" If they take Everett Case?
The reason why is I got there's 2 reasons why.
You're letting him off the hook.
He has second highest win percentage ahead of all of those guys we've been talking about. At 74.5% win percentage. He coached for 2 years at State, but he moved on to LSU. And he was successful, moved on. And he had a son named Pistol Pete, so he knows what may bring out the point guard in your team.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that in my mind and how they would probably play very fast with him. So that's why I'm thinking Press Maravich. Everett Case hey, guys are really tough. Maybe that's a stupid pick. Probably is. I can't believe now that I'm saying it, like, what did I just do? I didn't pick Everett
No,
Case.
it's locked in.
I'll
You
take
just
it. Yeah, no,
literally
that's
helped
why I was
Leighton.
like sitting here. I'm like sitting here going, Greg, shut up. You're talking about every case. Blah, blah. Shut up, Greg. Shut up. All right, cool. All right. But anyway, again, I mean, it makes sense.
I feel
74.
so bad saying that now.
Hey, again, I picked CJ Leslie in the 3rd round, so I feel you.
I'm so competitive.
Press
Maravich.
Dude, he's the second highest win percentage. Shut
Yeah,
your
2
mouth.
years.
Yeah, pretty good.
I will fight you
No, I
right
love
now.
it.
2 of the best years of NC State basketball.
How many national championships?
Everett Case would have a national championship.
That's why I didn't take him.
That's
There's 2 options, so I didn't have an option to pick one.
Fair. Now I'm helping you make your argument.
All right, cool. All right, Macon, who
Actually,
you taking
that was a
with
terrible
your?
pick because when he went to LSU, he really started losing. So that was a terrible pick. What have I done? What have I done? I've ruined my team.
What have you done?
Guys? I'm
Team
admitting
chemistry.
that I made a terrible pick there. So there you go. It doesn't really matter. I may pick the bad. I'm going to pick the NC State version of Press Maravich. That's what I'm doing.
Okay,
there you go.
I'm gonna put here in my notes Press Maravich and then parentheses
Pre-LSU.
NC State.
Pre LSU,
Yeah.
but really, if you think about it, it looks like he just played off of Everett Case's success. What it looks like.
Yeah.
So my next guy that I'm going to pick here, there is another center on the board that's really good, but in today's game I don't want a center. Man, it's going to take me a second here. I was not ready. I was so torn up about that pick.
So focused on coaching.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, I feel like I will be wrong in saying this guy, but I feel like there's a part of it that I should. I'm going to go with Scott Wood. I think at this point, I mean, he's
Freaking A.
He's a sniper. And I feel like I'm picking three. I've picked 3 players from the same generation. Like I got Lorenzo Brown, Scott Wood, and TJ Warren.
That's okay. You're young.
Yeah, but
I mean, they were.
But I mean, he's
good.
the where is he at on stats? He's the number 1 player in games played, the number 1 player in minutes played. He is where's some other stats? He is 2nd all time in 3-point field goal percentage. He's number 1 in 3-point field goal attempts. He's number 1 in 3-point field goals made. He's just a scoring machine at shooting guard. And so it's basketball's a shooter's game. I also kind of realized Scott Wood's a liability defensively. So that's part of the reason why I was kind of hesitant there. But yeah, that's my pick though, because he can just score. My team's going to outscore the other team. That's how I will win. It's not a matter of playing defense. It's going to be just scoring more.
Should have picked Godfrey then.
No.
Got to guard us too.
All right, so Gregster, who you got?
I cannot believe I Press Maravich. Why did I do that? That sounds so bad after you say it.
So I've got Korch, and I've got Hodge, I've got Thurl, and I got Carr. So I have 2 of each. So now I have to determine if I want to go 3 guards or 2, or 3 in the front court. So this is kind of where I'm torn. I've got a couple of national champions here with my coach and Thurl. I think there's something to be said about championship pedigree. So I'm going to go to the dunk master himself. I'm going to go Lorenzo Charles.
Lorenzo Charles, interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be mine.
Yeah, I had, and we can talk about it
the
afterwards. I'll tell you where I was torn afterwards because I don't want to give this pick away potentially. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go, and I may take this person as my sixth man too. So that person's still there. So anyway, I'll take Lorenzo.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
All right. Go ahead, Michael.
So yeah, I gotta fill out. I really don't have a. Man, I really don't have a true wing player. I've got a couple forwards. I guess I'm just gonna go guard heavy then. Another along the lines of Greg there, national champion. I'm gonna go with Derek Whittenberg.
I like it. Yeah.
So,
I'm actually I think it's a good pick for where it is, just because
yeah.
he was a competitor more than anything. He was a guy that, you know, could really rile up a locker room, obviously. But you know, and just a solid player all around. Yeah.
They got a good, they had that bond. So yeah, I like that pick there.
Yeah.
And also too, he's definitely your starting comedian. There's no doubt about it. Of the locker room for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'd light it up. All right. So for me, I'm split between two players. I'm definitely looking. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and get the obvious one out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pick Everett Case. No shocker there. I mean, you know, the father of the ACC.
He gave it up. He gave it up.
All right, we need that soundbite for like a live stream. He goes, I'm such a moron.
This is where we need the bruh.
Bruh.
You're just being a good friend,
such a moron.
helping out late.
It's all good. Hey, I appreciate it, Macon. You're the
That's
man,
a good
brother.
wingman.
You're my brother,
Yeah.
man. I love
You're
it.
my boy
Blue.
Blue.
Shit. Yeah, my boy. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and knock that one out of the way. I mean, obviously, again, the father of it all. I mean, you know, definitely.
Maybe I should read off his accolades.
Leading NC State players of all time.
I'll read off his.
Hey, go ahead. Add to it, man. Go ahead, Macon.
I don't even know what they are right now. I'll have to look it up. But he's. Yeah, well, here we go. He's 73.8 win percentage behind Press Maravich at NC State. But he's coached there for 19 years. I mean, I'm wondering how many All-Americans. We don't have a ton of consensus All-Americans, but he's produced some really good players. I know they played up and down the court a lot of times. Let me see here who he has. Where he
I would guess he probably coached the most All-Americans.
Yeah,
just thinking about
David Thompson was with Norm. Well, David Thompson was with Norm Sloan though.
Yeah, and so was
Ronnie Shavlik. He had 2 years in a row, and then Dickey was he?
Dickey,
and Sam Ranzino. So he produced 4 seasons worth of All-Americans. I think he was there from 1940, 1951. But the basketball was so different back then. So
True. All right. So for me, now for my 6 man to, are we rounding it out?
Yeah.
Or do we have one more?
Yeah, you're on your rounding it.
Okay. Yeah.
6 man.
Okay. So again, I'm split between 2 players. After looking at it, I feel like for me, again, I got to go guard. I need somebody who can distribute the ball a little bit, but also shoot it. And so I'm going to go with Vinny Del Negro.
That was going to be my previous
Del
choice.
Negro.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
You know, he was his senior year. He shot 39.7% from the 3, which is really what I was looking at, getting some help shooting the 3 ball. But also too, I mean, he averaged 3.6 assists a game. Still averaged 4.9 rebounds a game and 15.9 points a game. So he's kind of a do-it-all guy that can swap in there with Sidney Lowe and even help David Thompson as well. So yeah, I feel that's a pretty great addition to round it out here to the best team so far that we have here.
It's really not, but okay.
No.
lame pick.
All right. All right, cool. So I'm going to catch up now that I spent all the time thinking about it to actually write down the notes so I had to make sure I don't forget anybody. But Michael, go ahead and pick your last pick whenever you're ready.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I've got a couple split between a couple old guys, a couple newer ones. I think I'll just add another scorer in there. Why not? I'll have a thin front court, but we'll just run up and down the court. I'm going to go with Anthony Grundy. I believe he is on the top 10 list of scorers.
Interesting.
He is. Let me look up here. I'll pull it up for you.
I forget where.
So Anthony Grundy is technically not on the top 10. Like for field goals, He's not there. He did his like I think it was attempts. He definitely took a lot of shots. I don't see anything past top 10 on this website, but I can pull it up here. He's he's 8th all time in 3-point percentage, and I don't see where the other one is.
Yeah, he is 9th all time in scoring, right behind Dick Dickey, right ahead of Tommy Burleson. 1,641 points.
Interesting.
I got a lot of scoring.
Yeah. All right, Greg, finish it up, brother.
So Vinny was on my short list of available players. I got my list here. I don't know. I think I need another point guard. I think is where I'm going to go with. And my roster is kind of old school. I was going to go another old school guy, but I'm looking at my potential list here. I'm going to go
Big T.
Cat Barber.
Oh, yeah, he's a good pick. Yep,
that's a good pick.
Cat Barber.
Honestly, yeah.
He could distribute. He could score. He could take over games if he wanted to. I think that was the one knock, that he didn't take over enough games. He didn't look out for himself more than he did his teammates. But I thought that was one of those guys that was kind of a fringe NBA guy. Probably should have got a better shake at it. But Cat Barber is going to round up my team. He's my sixth man.
He is. I'll tell you one thing about him. He is 4th all time in free throw percentage.
Yeah, he was really good.
79.3. Yeah.
And he was so quick to get into
that basket. One season where it was between him and I can't remember who the guy was at Carolina who was. It was like he was unreal that year. I think it was a 2014, 2015 season, 2013, 2014 season. He was so freaking good that year.
He was.
So with Cat Barber, I just locked up my fantasy championship. Thank you very much.
I don't know about
that. No, I'm actually surprised though. But I guess here let's let Macon finish it out, and that way we can get and then we can talk about it a little bit. Macon, who's the last pick in the draft, man?
The last pick of my team, and I'm confident with this one, is Nate McMillan.
That was who I was.
That
was who I was looking at.
He's going to show. Yep. So he is. Let me see if I can find his stats. He is 10th all time in assists. The number of assists he's had. Yeah. He's and 3rd all time in assists per game. He's 5th all time minutes played. He's 2nd all time in steals per game. So he's going to be able to distribute the ball and get some steals, turnovers. So that's probably my guy there. So my team, I've got Lorenzo Brown, Nate McMillan, I've got Hawkeye Whitney, Tom Gugliotta, and I've got I can't remember the other guy. Oh, Scott Wood,
TJ Warren, baby.
Scott Wood and TJ Warren. Yep. So I'm good there.
Yep. And then Press Maravich.
Yeah.
Pre LSU.
Yeah.
Notice he didn't mention that name.
LSU.
And Press and Press Maravich.
All right, and then Greg's team, he got
that clip of me explaining, hey, there is every case there, but I'm just gonna go somewhere else. Is like, Macon, what are you doing? Just like you,
you outthought yourself.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was literally sitting here going, "Oh my god, I'm so screwed." And then like here's Macon going, "I'm considering 2 people." I'm like, "Oh Lord."
I would be willing to bet.
case.
I would be willing to bet had you
Oh,
not
please.
taken
go.
Press Maravich, he might have gone Herb Syndick.
Yeah.
No, I would
mean,
have picked. I would have
I
picked
will
every
s-
case right.
No,
then
no,
by
no. I'm
then.
talking about Leighton. I'm talking about Leighton. Leighton would have probably taken
Oh.
Herb Syndick.
What are you trying to say?
The same. I
No,
would
I
be.
wouldn't.
I mean,
I don't think
who's
you've ever
left
heard of
after
Press
that?
Maravich
Yeah.
until Macon just said it.
Well,
will say
mean,
there was-
again,
There was a loophole in this draft. Who's got Sidney Lowe on their team? Who is Sidney Lowe?
I'm raising my hand. Me.
Oh, I thought you were asking. Well, you could have been.
No,
that
me.
could have been your coach, and then you could have drafted another player too.
Ooh, that would have been a loophole. But I know I want
He'd
him
have been
playing.
like
I don't
Will
want him.
Ferrell
I don't want him.
player
You don't
being
want
coach.
that version of Sidney Lowe.
Yeah.
You know, actually, that would have been such a goat thing to do. Been like, yeah, Cindy Lowe is gonna be my Will Ferrell. He's gonna be playing and coaching. I love that. But with
I
every
didn't even
case
think
they're
about
sitting
that.
there, you know, I mean, I gotta take that.
So hold on, let's recap
so-
these teams. Now I got a bonus question.
Well,
I got
yeah.
a bonus question. Do y'all like jerseys you want to come out game 1 on? What are your jersey picks?
Oh, like which?
Like if you had to
jerseys?
pick your team coming out to a
I
set of
mean-
jerseys, what jerseys are they going to be?
I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, man.
I will say my favorite shorts though, or the ones that have the wolf claws on the side of them. Like I don't know if you remember those shorts. Yeah. Because it was like the Adidas and like the 3 stripes, and like instead of just traditional 3 stripes, it was like the claw marks. I thought those were I thought those were pretty cool. But
So
I'm gonna make mine easy. I'm gonna do the all reds that Lorenzo
Those are
Brown,
so
CJ
sick.
Leslie, Richard Howell, those book, the all reds. Those
all
are
right,
sick.
if I had
They
to really
were-
choose
yeah.
one, I'm going to take the ones that we were for the cancer research game with the nets on the back of them.
yeah, they don't ever give up on the back.
Yeah, don't get ones. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
good one.
those are cool. Yeah.
I have that jersey. I bought that jersey. I think Michael, I'm coming with you. Those classic, just old school, just state with the white state with the red trim. Those were
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
were
the
sick.
state that just said state, not what the state that had the NC. And
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It does. I feel like
Yeah.
NC State. I mean, I do like the new jerseys, like the new look of the jerseys to a degree. But the other classic ones are so much sweeter.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, no, I agree with you. So let's recap these teams. So Macon took you through his team. So Greg, you got Chris Corciani, Thurl Bailey, Julius Hodge, Kenny Carr, Lorenzo Charles, and Kat Barber, and then
That's
you
a
got
sick
Norm
team.
Salone
That's a
running the
sick
bench.
team.
That's a pretty daggone good.
I think the
team.
most underrated player on your team is actually Kenny Carr, which is what's crazy.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, no, I agree. Michael's got Tommy Burleson, Rodney Monroe, Monty Towell, Richard Howell, Jimmy V, Derek Wittenberg, and Anthony Grundy. So, I think with this team, obviously it's very. I mean, obviously Tommy Burleson, Richard Howell, definitely going to clean the boards.
Yeah,
for
if
sure.
the other team doesn't make the basket, they're not getting the rebound.
Well. Just
Hey,
saying.
wait a minute. I do. What are you
Just
talking
pointing
about?
out
I have
there.
Scott Wood, TJ Warren, and Hawkeye Whitney's up there.
Press
Hawkeye.
Maravich.
Shut your mouth. TJ Warren's on the all-time
Well,
score list. He is in my mind. He's in my mind. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
He's
he
like
would,
the Press
and-
Maravich
and
of
he
his
would-
time.
And again, all right,
TJ Warren's not. You're right.
and maybe this is for a different
His field goal
episode, but this is
percentage,
always going
if
to
you
be
let him play all 4 years, he would have been. I'm just going to tell you right now.
well. And also, too, again, that 2012 team was so stacked. Mark Godfrey should have done way more with that team. So much more with that team. Richard Howell, Tyler Lewis,
Scott
Lorenzo
Wood.
Brown, CJ Leslie, Scott Wood, Richard Howell. You should have done so much more with that team. Like it's ridiculous.
crazy? You know what's
that you really
crazy?
got
Richard
out
Howell
of
is
first
number
round.
one all time in both offensive rebound percentage and defensive rebound percentage. That's how good he was.
His nickname was
Yeah.
the Windex Man because he was cleaning the glass.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then finish it off here. So with my team, so you
No
got
one
the
cares.
GOAT, David Thompson. So
And
I
that's
win
a wrap,
'cause I got
guys.
David
And that's a wrap,
Thompson,
guys.
so- yeah,
He's a
David
one-man
Thompson.
team. He's a one-man wolf pack over there.
Pretty much. Again, you got Sydney Lowe distributing. You got CJ Leslie doing it all and making the highlight reel. Ryan Shavlik, helping as a power forward
That's all
kind
you
of
can say
deal.
about
Kevin
him 'cause
Thompson run the
he's so
center.
old.
But
Hey,
hey,
Ryan
man,
Shavlik is
three-time
there.
ACC championship, man.
Everybody's running up in
Hey,
the court in color, and he's running behind the play in black and white.
Hey, man. Okay, don't disrespect now, man. That dude was the goat of his time now, man. And again, he was a center. I'm not even
Yeah,
putting
but
him
this
as
is
my
when they
center
shot
again. I'm
free
putting him
throws
as my
like
power
this.
forward. Yeah,
Underhanded
well,
free throw
again,
era.
I'll go to my team again. It was TJ Warren. I said TJ Warren, Gugliotta,
Gugliotta, Lorenzo Brown, Hawkeye, Press Maravich, Scott Wood, and Nate McMillan.
Yes. Yeah.
Macon should be like, stop saying Maravich. Stop it.
It's like, I'll give you $20 not to use that name again.
Yeah, please stop it.
Yeah. You're going to have this abrupt cut on this video every time he says, and so. It's like, that's obviously.
Yeah. Hawkeye
Jordan
winning,
Vandenberg and Deshaun Painter in my pick.
So real quick, can we talk about some players that we didn't draft? I think maybe that would be.
No, and that's a show, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm out.
No,
Go ahead.
no, Greg,
No,
go
there
for
was
it,
just
man.
a few notable players. No one drafted Spud.
Spud's not on the stat list though, on the record list.
No, he didn't have to be.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you who really is on the stat sheet that should have been mentioned is Markel Johnson for real.
Yeah,
one of the best point guard. Well, he is in that ring of best point guard States has had. I mean, he has. I'm trying to look it up here. His stats.
Yeah, while you're doing that, no one wanted Dennis Smith Jr.
Well,
because and that was I was thinking about back of my mind like if he comes on the team, is he a virus? Is he a cancer to the team?
Yeah.
Is he going to pass the ball? Now I would say here's what I would say though. Lane got Everett Case, and you guys got Norm Sloan. I think if one of you guys had drafted Dennis, I think that would have made more sense because those guys would have whooped him into shape.
Yeah, no one took Charles Shackelford, Chris Washburn, Clyde Austin, J.J. Hickson
again,
Cozell McQueen,
J.J. Hickson.
Yeah. And
so I say Spud Webb was
Trevor
Lacey. Dang, that dude was. I still remember him hitting that half court shot. And
then everyone's favorite Bojangle spokesman, B.J. Anya.
No, I'm good.
Just saying, just some notable names there. That's all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one that nobody did say that is actually especially like should be probably on a team is one of the All-Americans. There's another All-American nobody said, Sam Ranzino. I mentioned him, but consensus, and that was before the 3-point shot again, and he was a point guard, so he was shooting the ball like a really, really high amount. It's another guy nobody mentioned, Todd Fuller. Nobody mentioned Todd Fuller.
Yeah. AKA again, that's why this whole thing was so tough.
When you said
Lane,
you said like there was no sense on the board. I'm like, Todd Fuller's on the board.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's all right. Again, none of us researched before going into this. This is totally like off the street. You could tell by how long I took to answer these questions. So,
yes. Yeah. So I think we all can agree that probably the player that definitely doesn't make any sense of why he was picked, admittedly, probably was CJ Leslie, but I just still stand by the fact that if you give CJ Leslie to a great coach like every case, man.
Yeah,
then
that is
I
the
don't know,
If you
argument.
give him to a great coach, but if you give him to
Yeah.
Press Maravich, he's probably not doing anything.
Yeah, because Prep Maravich has got so much
Greg.
talent around him anyways
Golly,
already.
Greg.
So.
Whew. Dude, man, Greg, are you trying to get Macon to quit? Holy
I'm
smokes,
trying to get fired
man.
tonight.
You're
What are you
tearing
talking
it.
about?
I love it. No. What have I done? No.
I'm going to go back and research. We're going to have an episode devoted to Press Maravich just 2 years of sleep.
And why he is the greatest coach
goat.
of all time.
He's a goat. Nobody said Kyle Washington.
Yeah.
Nobody said I don't know, whoever else.
Kyle Washington.
He had the. I think if you had to go
his shot
all time, that or all time mean mugs, because like he'd give you that like that long chin look and like But,
Deshaun Painter was on the court. Whenever he was on the court, he always looked like he was sweating and dying of heat exhaustion. He was like, "Oh, I'm so tired."
Oh my gosh!
Now, let me ask about one player which I spent a half a second thinking about because the potential was there. But if he would have stayed healthy and if he would have had solid pieces around him, especially as of recently, would you say that Manny Bates would have ever entered that thought of one of the all-time great centers?
I mean, no.
He was progressing offensively. But he was that was definitely a project.
When he really beefed up, that was my thing. Is that he is obviously probably the greatest blocker in NCAA history, and he really changed a lot. But also too, I know that injuries and also too the pieces around him definitely probably hurt his perception.
I think if you would have taken him, you probably would have taken him as your sixth man, someone off the bench. You need a defensive stop. I don't think you would have been in your starting fantasy five.
Yeah, I agree. All right, cool. All right, y'all. So with that being said, again, let us know in Discord. Let us know in the comments, man, what y'all think of these rosters, man. Again, this was a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of laughs here, and so again, feel free to tear my new one. I know, but again, it was a lot of fun. But again, if you haven't already,
I'm sorry, this is specifically why we made this a members only video, because we can't let it out that I picked President. Yeah, if I see one comment in the Discord, you're out. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. No. All right, y'all. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in here with us. Make sure again to go check out all of our other members only videos. If you haven't checked out our Jarkel Joiner episode yet, make sure to check that out. And again, just let us know as well what else you want to see. If you have any input in terms of episodes you would like us to talk about or do, whatever it might be, let us know. But thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, go Pack, baby.